¿Cómo están? How's your spirit doing today? How are you feeling on this beautiful Friday? If we are meeting for the first time, hi, hola, I'm Nori, and I help millennial women that are feeling stuck eliminate self doubt, eliminate self imposed limiting beliefs so that they can experience the life that they want. They can experience a life full of joy and full of inner peace. I'm actually coming to you live today from California. I am currently in Cali visiting my best friend, and I wanted to make a video today. I wanted to make this training video today to talk a little bit about motivation. This is a conversation. This is a topic that I find myself thinking a lot about in these days, and even with my students, we talk a lot about motivation. With my best friend Joy, I talk a lot about motivation, and I wanted to share with you some insight if you're currently struggling with motivation. So, the first thing you have to understand is that motivation moves whenever it feels like it. If you're from New York City, motivation is like the MTA of emotions. It comes when it feels like it shows up on its own time. And there isn't really a set in stone way that it's not like reliable. Motivation kind of just happens. So a lot of us are struggling with motivation because we are waiting for motivation to show up before we take action. So if you're constantly waiting for motivation to show up and it doesn't show up, then what happens? You don't take action. You don't do the thing that you're supposed to do or you want to do. I've ran 2 marathons and I've ran over like 10 half marathons. And none of those races that I've ran I did it because of motivation. It wasn't that I woke up every day motivated to go running. It wasn't that I woke up every day motivated to go spend 3 to 4 hours out running. It was because I was moving with courage. A lot of us think the answer is motivation, but the actual answer is courage. I'm currently reading this book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by this woman. Her name is Bonnie Ware, and this is what the book looks like. There you go. And one of the things that Bonnie talks about in this book a lot that the people that are dying tell her, she's basically a caretaker, and she spent a lot of time with people that were in the last weeks of their lives, the last months of their lives. And this caretaker wrote this book, and she shares 5 regrets that people that are dying have on their dying bed. And the regret that has really come up for me the most when I read the first regret she shared is I wish I had the courage to live the life true to myself. And this really resonated with me, and it made me want to do this video because a lot of us are waiting for motivation to live the life that's true to us, but the motivation never shows up. Or if the motivation shows up, fear begins to shut down the motivation because you are afraid of what people are going to say about you, how they're going to treat you, what kind of different things they're going to say to you. And that starts making you anxious. It makes you feel like you can't take action. When I used to think about what people would say about me, what people would think about me for doing the things that they didn't approve of, I used to get anxiety. I used to start questioning my moves because I felt that people wouldn't approve of me, people wouldn't validate me. And as humans, we like to be validated. We like to feel like we are part of the crew. We like to feel like we're a part of the community. That's why peer pressure is such a big part of our environment. That's why you can go from not doing something, but you come around your friends and you suddenly are doing it. And in this book, Bonnie talks to these people that are on their deathbed and they're sharing with her what are the things that they really wish they would have done differently. And moving without courage is one of the things that this people that are dying are telling her that they wish they would have done more of. They wish they would have had the courage to say how they felt. They wish they had the courage to do the things they wanted to do. They wish they hadn't waited so long to start living their lives. They wish that they hadn't assumed that they were going to have a long life. A lot of us think we're going to have a long life. We think we're going to be living on this earth forever. And we don't move from a space of urgency, of purpose, with courage because we think that we have time. You think that you have time. And when you think you have time, you don't appreciate the time that you have, you take it for granted. And if you are currently struggling with motivation, you have to understand that motivation is not the key to you living the life of your dreams. The key is to have the courage to say the thing you want to say, even though it's going to hurt some people. Because at the end of the day, not saying the thing that you want to say also hurts people too. It keeps them from getting to know the real you, the person that you really are. And I remember when I was struggling with depression and I was struggling with wanting to step away from that mindset. I was struggling with wanting to take action because I was wrapped up feeling like a victim. I didn't have the courage to say to myself, Nori, this is your life. You can change it. You don't have to be feeling like this anymore. And I became so afraid of facing my truth, facing my reality, that I didn't do much to change my situation. And the situation kept on being the way it was, and it hurt me a lot, but I was not in enough pain to change it. I was waiting for the motivation to change myself. I was waiting for the motivation to look for the help that I needed. I was waiting for the motivation to take action. But what if that motivation never comes? What if the motivation that you are waiting for to step into your purpose, to step into your dream life, to take action and to live the life of you that you know you deserve, what if that motivation never shows up? What's going to happen then? Are you never going to live that life? Are you always going to be regretting? Are you going to be like the people that Bonnie talked about in this book that are in the deathbed, regretting not moving with courage? Is that going to be you because you are choosing to wait for a motivation that may never show up? I've never really thought about the fact that there is a chance the motivation might not come. And if motivation comes, that it might be fleeting, that it may show up on Sundays and it might not show up in other days. Some days I might be really good at it, some days I might not. And since I've realized that motivation may never show up, I have decided that I'm going to move even when motivation is not there. Because sometimes you have to move first and then the motivation picks up steam, like the momentum. One of the things, if you're throwing a snow, like a bowling ball on a lane, it's gonna get faster and faster the further down it goes than if you when you first throw it. That's because when an object is in motion, is easier for it to keep moving than if it's not moving. Well, that's how I think motivation works. Where if you are currently static, if you're not moving, you're gonna struggle a lot with the motivation. But once you start moving, you're going to see how your motivation picks up steam and momentum, and you keep on moving and moving and moving. And a lot of us don't get to that part because we are waiting for the motivation to make us act. We are waiting for the motivation to do it for us. And that's not how life works. Life is not going to give you something that you haven't earned. You are worthy of whatever you want. But if you haven't earned it, if you haven't done the work, life is just not going to hand that thing to you. And if there's something I can share with you so that you can walk away with this and use it in your life, I would say don't wait for motivation. Motivation might not come. And if you're waiting for motivation, you are at the mercy of motivation. You are moving when motivation wants you to move. You are doing the things motivation wants you to do when it wants you to do it. And is that the life that you want to live? A lot of us wants to spend all of our time in our comfort zone. We love being in our comfort zone. The comfort zone feels good and warm and fuzzy, but is the comfort zone really comfortable? Do you really feel comfortable when you are in your comfort zone? I found that whenever I'm in my comfort zone, I don't really feel comfortable at all. I feel like a part of me knows that I can do more. A part of me knows that I'm not living up to my potential. A part of me knows that I'm not moving to the best interest of my life. And that part of me is so unsettling that it makes the whole comfortable phase very much uncomfortable. So if you think that you have to ask yourself, like, is my comfort really, if my comfort zone really comfortable? Does it really feel as good as I think it is? Because if the answer is no, like it is to me, then it's time to step outside that comfort zone, because you will see that that comfort zone is only in your mind. Everything about life is uncomfortable. Knowing you're going to die at any moment is uncomfortable. Knowing that the people that you love are going to die at any moment is uncomfortable. Knowing that your time in this earth is limited is uncomfortable. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, and that's what life is all about. So stop waiting for the motivation to show up. Stop waiting for the motivation to take action. Because if that doesn't come, you're going to be on your dying bed, like the people that Bonnie talked about in this book, saying that they wish they had the courage. They wish they had the courage to take action, to move, to do the thing they wanted to do, to step into the thing that's important to them, to step into the joy of life. Life is not a comfortable process. And I know it sucks that it's not a comfortable, because we think we want it to be comfortable. But if you think about the spaces which you haven't grown, the spaces that don't challenge you, that's because you're comfortable. Comfort doesn't bring growth. Comfort doesn't bring joy. Comfort doesn't bring challenge. All comfort does is make you feel bad about yourself because you are in a space that you know you can be doing better at. So there's nothing comfortable about being comfortable. And I wanted to share that with you today because I know a lot of us, as the year is wrapping up, we are starting to reflect on what we've done in the last year or so. We might be starting to put our plans for the next year. And if that's currently you and you're waiting for motivation to happen, you may never bring those plans to life. So don't wait for motivation. Instead, walk with courage. Have the courage to say the thing that's in your heart. Have the courage to move in alignment with what you know is your purpose. Have the courage to walk away from situations that don't serve you. Have the courage to invite people into your life that can help you and that can help you manifest the life that you want. Have the courage to say no to other people and have the courage to say yes to you. And if you need help with any of that, I want to invite you to chat with me. Click on the link in the comments below or head to iamhealthyfit.com/schedule. And I love to talk to you. I love to see how we can make this happen. This journey is not easy, and it's also not meant to go at it alone. And if that's where you are right now and you're feeling like I can use someone in my corner, I'm here to be that person for you. And I want to do it in the most loving and compassionate way that I can. So thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you in our next video. And have an amazing rest of your day and your weekend. Hasta luego.